dreams. Let's discuss the Chinese cultural dream. It can be divided into three different regions. One that includes China and China, Korea plus Japan. They are also known as Far East. Apart from this, there is Indochina, Indochina means that includes Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, Thailand. Apart from that, Southeast Asia, that is Indonesia, Malaysia, and you can say Brunei. And you know Sarawak Island, Kalimantan Island, and it also includes Philippines. This is one cultural realm called Chinese cultural realm. I'll mention few highlights of the Chinese cultural realm. Is that this most of the population here belongs to Mongoloid race. So they have racial similarity. Like when we take the one country, like say China, such a big country, having monotony of language, there is one language, one script. Script is in the form of symbol and logograms. You know Chinese script? It is having symbols and logograms. So but they have the uniformity of language throughout the one reason, say linguistic similarity. Like China have the Mandarin language. China is having one language, Mandarin language, and they have the linguistic similarity. Every country. Laos has the Lao language, Thailand has the Thai language, and throughout the country there is one language. Linguistic similarity, not like India. We have after every 50 kilometers either the language changes or the dialect changes or the script changes. Like within Hindi we have the Dogri, we have the Marwadi, we have Maithili, we have Avdi, we have Khadi Boli, we have Brij Bhasha, we have Bhojpuri. So every language in Hindi, the dialects are different. So we change, but they throughout these countries they have one uniformity of language. And most of the population, say China, they have religious independence. Most of the people in China, they are non-attached people to religious activities. They don't have column of religion basically. They don't believe in religion. Majority of the population is non-believer. They are not attached. For a country like India, अरे किसी religion के नहीं हो, how surprising it is. I said, I don't believe in worship of stone. I don't believe in पाखंड झूठे ये जो बातें करते हैं कि गंगा शिव जी की जटाओं से निकली थी, मानव की उत्पत्ति ब्रह्मा जी से हुई थी. I don't believe this. Baseless things. But still, when the question comes of religion, I am forced to write Hindu. Though I am a Hindu, my parents were Hindu. But it is not necessary over there that you show your religion, because the country formation, it was basically the Han dynasty, H-A-N, Han dynasty. Later it becomes several regional dynasties. Han united the China. And after that, in 1948, we are discussing what is happening today. In 1948, after this Chinese revolution, a formation of China have taken over, and the communist political system was established by Mao Zedong. We used to say Jiao Zedong, Mao Zedong. He established the China. This name is very, very important. Like Mahatma Gandhi, we used to say father of nation. Mao Zedong is the father of China. He established China. He adopted communist system. He adopted socialist system. He decided to have a political system with equal distribution of resources among the masses. So he outrightly rejected the capitalist system. He says every resource belongs to nation, not to the individuals. इंसान का कुछ भी नहीं है. जब तक वो जिंदा है, nation will give them security, nation will give them house, nation will give them job, and nothing belongs to him. So he selected this system. You must be knowing one dictum of Mao Zedong. He says, solution of every problem in the world, solution of every problem in the world comes from the barrel of the gun. He was little more, he used more extreme language. सारी दुनिया की सारी समस्याओं का समाधान बंदूक की गोली से निकलता है. So we believe in a forceful implementation of government rules. जबरदस्ती सारी चीजों को government rules लगाया गया. Certain sometimes we feel there is the suppression of human rights, but ultimately outcome of China is very good. Like in China in 1973, Chinese government passed a resolution to have one child policy. एक बच्चा पैदा हो, means one child. No couple can think of second child. सेकंड चाइल्ड के बारे में सोच लिया तो अगर 4 घर के मकान में रहते हैं, 4 कमरों के मकान में रहते हैं, तो 2 कमरों के मकान में आ जाएंगे. आपके पास 4 एकड़ जमीन है तो 2 एकड़ रह जाएंगे, क्योंकि आपने गवर्नमेंट रूल को वायलेट किया. आपकी सैलरी 10,000 है तो 5,000 युआन रह जाएगी. सैलरी विल बी डिडक्टेड, हाउस विल बी रिड्यूस्ड, एग्रीकल्चरल स्पेस विल बी डिक्रीज, सब चीज कम हो जाएगी इफ वी वायलेट द रूल. व्हाट हैपेंड आफ्टर द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ वन चाइनीज पॉलिसी? किसी भी ग्राफ, मैंने बताया था ना, बेल शेप ग्राफ बनता है पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ का. ओवर द टाइम, विद टाइम, ग्राफ ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन ग्रोथ इज बेल शेप. जैसे ऊपर गया ऐसे नीचे. जब उन्होंने वन चाइल्ड पॉलिसी लगाई तो ऐसे हो गया ग्राफ. सो दे रिड्यूस दिस पॉपुलेशन by only by implementing. So this is 1973. वन चाइल्ड पॉलिसी आने से नेचुरल ग्राफ की भी पॉलिसी शेप चेंज कर दी. आई होप यू कैन कनेक्ट विद द डेमोग्राफिक ट्रांजिशन मॉडल. एकदम. बट इन इंडिया हमें लगता है हमारी ये पॉलिसी ये तो और ज्यादा लंबा चल रहा है, हमारा बेल से भी स्क्यूड हो गया है. बट चाइना में एकदम सीधा नहीं चल रहा. This is only the rigorous implementation of government policies. We have the democratic system, where majority of the people says whatever they say that is right. But in China, in a communist system, in socialist system, it is not like that. So every decision will be for the public by the government, and everyone has to adhere with them. So sometimes some people say it is the violation of human rights, but and this is the linguistic, this entire Chinese cultural realm that includes China, Indochina and Southeast Asia, Japan and Korea. This cultural realm has in the mainland and the most of the region, most of the population is living in rural area. Agriculture is the main source of livelihood. Food grain subsistence crop is the main source of livelihood. सब चावल पैदा करते हैं, rice and rice. They used to take 2 to 3 rice crops in a year, but not for commercial purpose. This area of the world is very high population density region. So this is the region of 5 important rivers. Those 5 rivers, you know, Red River means Huanghe River. So Yellow River, Huanghe River, Yangtze Kiang River, Xi River, Chao Phraya River, Mekong River and the Irrawaddy River. So from Irrawaddy to all the way up to Huanghe River, entire this region falls, so they have the supply of water. The source of all these rivers is Tibetan Plateau. All these rivers, the name I said, they all originate from Tibetan Plateau, and Tibetan Plateau supply water to all these rivers, whether it is Huanghe River, Yangtze Kiang, Xi River, Chao Phraya River, Mekong River, Menam River, or Chindwin River, or Salween River, or Irrawaddy River. All these rivers obtain water from the Tibetan Plateau. So they have the regular supply of water, so population density is high because soil is fertile and the crop growing conditions are very suitable. So they have the crop, rice is the prime crop. Second important crop is the wheat, because in North China that is the wheat growing area, and third important crop is the maize. So basically they are the maize growing region. Apart from that, horticulture like coffee, like tea cultivation are the other horticultural crops. So basically main large number of people are living in the rural area. Subsistence agriculture is the occupation, and less number of people are living in the urban area. But in the insular region, when we come to the coastal region, we have the like Japan is let's come over to China first. About the qualities of China. One large continental country, China is one where we have the regional variations in the occupations. This is the rice growing area, this is the maize growing area, this is the wheat growing area, this is the coffee growing area, like they have. But in the current past, in last 30 years, in 3 decades, China shifted to industrialization. They allowed foreign direct investment. Maximum amount of foreign direct investment comes in China from rest of the world. That is the country that attracted foreign direct investment. So it attracted the foreign direct investment. So why foreign direct investment? Because they liberalized their policies and they shifted to industrialization. Because of vast continental character of the country, this is one of the richest country with richest mineral resources. They have all kind of mineral resources are there in China. So because of the availability of resources, liberal policies, foreign direct investment came, and large number of industrial towns mushroomed in last 3 decades. And China became the exporter of most of the manufacturing goods in the world on very cheaper rates. Because labor price is very low. It is subsidized labor price. Like I can cite one example what is the role of labor price in India and Bangladesh. Like in India, Labor price per day in West Bengal for manufacturing the jute. One day the labor price is 500 to 600 rupees. The same labor who is working in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, in Chittagong, or in Khulna, or in very close Dinajpur or Sialhat, किसी भी से ढाका में अगर कोई जूट इंडस्ट्री में काम कर रहा है, they are charging only 100 to 150 taka. 150 taka means इंडिया के 100 रुपये. Indian 100 rupees. Indian labor is charging 600 rupees, and Bangladeshi labor same. एक आदमी उतना ही तो काम करेगा ना जितना ढाका में करेगा, उतना ही कोलकाता में करेगा. कोलकाता में 600 रुपये लेता है, ढाका में 100 रुपये लेता है उतना ही काम करने का. So what happened? The product price would be low in Bangladesh and product price would be very high in India. That is the only reason with the Chinese industrial product where labor price is very low and in comparison to the rest of the world. And the main threat is to industrialized world. Europe, America, Japan, they are facing the threat because in all those countries they are the industrialized country. India is also facing the threat of the Chinese products. But Chinese products brought a lot of change in the life of the poor people in India. Like in poor people in India, they could afford LED because of the Chinese LED. They could afford all the electric item on very subsidized rate because of the Chinese product. So every item whatever we have, the Chinese industry. So this country shifted to industrialization. This is the only country which is consistently registering more than 8% economic growth rate annually throughout the last 3 decades. पिछले 30 साल से 8% से ज़्यादा लगातार growth rate चल रही है. So the poverty was very low. In last 30 years, they reduced their poverty almost 30% to 12%. People living below poverty line in China. 30% से घट के लगभग 12-14% poor रह गए. But in India, we reduced our in last 3 decades we reduced Indian poverty or poverty line. People living below poverty line, 30 years, we reduced from 48% to 35%. Today, even 35% population of the country, almost 1/3 population of country is living below poverty line. We could not, because it is the change that the communist system rigorously they implemented the government policies, spread over the mechanization in agriculture, introduced industrialization, provided job, made the education compulsory and free and compulsory education in all the part of the country. So this is the one Chinese system. But say Japan is there, Korea is there. The location of Japan is similar to England. Similar to England means it is the insular country. Most of the people living in urban areas. Tokyo is the largest megalopolis in the country, in the world, largest city in the world. Second is Osaka, third is Kobe, Kyoto, Nagasaki, Nagoya, Meiji, Shimonoseki. These are the other cities, but big cities are there. That is industrialized. Japan is the one country. You know, it is full of natural hazards, natural disasters, earthquake prone area, volcano prone area, tsunami prone area, typhoon prone area, and they don't have mineral resources. But certain advantages they have. They have the warm Gulf Stream. Warm Gulf Stream means that supply, that is the meeting zone of the cold and warm oceanic currents. Warm Kuroshima and cold Oyashima. So two oceanic currents join near Japan, and that may be ideal ground for the formation of the plankton. Because of the plankton, availability of plankton, that is the ideal breeding ground for fisheries. So food is easily available, nutritious food, without any investment that is available. Climate is very pleasant, so the industrialization, this country developed the trade, commerce with rest of the world, and they developed the super specialized industries on very subsidized rates and very competitive rates. So this country is the industrialized country, where trade and commerce are the other important activities. More than 80% population lives in urban area, so there is least dependency on agriculture. चाइना उल्टा था, वहाँ एग्रीकल्चर पे डिपेंडेंसी है, यहाँ इंडस्ट्रीज, कॉमर्स एंड ट्रेड एंड दूसरे सेकेंडरी एंड टर्सरी एंड रिसर्च एक्टिविटीज दे हैव. प्रॉब्लम इज चाइना हैव इमेंस स्पेस बट दे डोंट हैव स्पेस. मैजिक ऑफ चाइना's space is like sometimes like Honda company, Toyota company, they don't have space on this in and around Tokyo city. They have conveyor belts on the ship only. अगर चाइना अमेरिका से ऑर्डर आ गया टू सप्लाई दी 500 होंडा कार्स, तो कैसे करते हैं? वहाँ बनाने की तो जगह है नहीं. रॉ मटेरियल दे यूज टू अपलोड ऑन द शिप, और शिप जैसे जैसे अमेरिका पहुंचेगा, न्यूयॉर्क, सैन फ्रांसिस्को या लॉस एंजलिस पहुंचेगा, तब तक रास्ते में कन्वेयर बेल्ट पे स्टाफ भी है और रॉ मटेरियल भी है, और सबको सेटिंग करके जब तक टाइम भी बच गया, स्पेस भी बच गया, चलते हुए शिप के ऊपर ही उनकी कन्वेयर बेल्ट, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कन्वेयर बेल्ट चलती रहती है, एंड दे कंप्लीट ऑल द प्रोडक्ट. सो दे आर सो टाइम कंजर्वेटिव, टाइम एफिशिएंटली दे यूज द टाइम. They are very particular about the space and time and the economy. They are working on very competitive rates. So that is the magic of Japan's industrialization. If the strike takes place, काम नहीं रुकता. They used to manufacture. Strike is against the management, not against the nation. राष्ट्र भक्ति उनमें इतनी ज़्यादा है, हम देश के खिलाफ स्ट्राइक नहीं कर रहे हैं, मैनेजमेंट के खिलाफ कर रहे हैं. काम नहीं रोकेंगे, काम करेंगे. जूता फैक्ट्री है तो एक ही पैर का जूता बना देंगे, सारा जूता बन जाएगा. काम नहीं रुकेगा, जूता बनेगा, एक ही पैर का बनता रहेगा. लेकिन जब दूसरे पैर का बनेगा, जब मैनेजमेंट माने दूसरे पैर का ही बनेगा, और काम तो नहीं रुका ना. मल्टीपल प्रोडक्शन एकदम मार्केट में आ जाएगा, अल्टीमेटली टू पुट द प्रेशर. दैट इज अनदर मैजिक ऑफ देयर strike. Like in India it is different. So they have workmanship, they have common language. China is one country where they stick with the Mandarin language only. And in China, at least a few number of person they know English or the other language other than Mandarin. But in Japan they have opened gates for the English and the other languages. In Tokyo they have the University of Tokyo, we have the Department of Hindi, because most of the trade they have to perform trade with India. In Seoul, the capital of South Korea, we have second largest industrial giant. We have second largest industrial automobile giants, say Hyundai company. Where Hyundai is located?
Seoul.
Huh? Hyundai is in Chennai, Perambudur, Sri Perambudur. और टोयोटा कहाँ है? टोयोटा ने इंडिया में प्लांट कहाँ लगाया? बेंगलोर में. लाइक होंडा ने कहाँ प्लांट लगाया? नोएडा में. लाइक वी हैव द बिग सिटीज, बिग इंडस्ट्रियल प्लांट्स आर देयर. गुजरात में नैनो प्लांट कहाँ लगाया टाटा ने? अरे बंगाल से गए थे, बंगाल में कहाँ था? Where the nano plant was established in Bengal, West Bengal, सिंगूर. और कहाँ गया सब वहाँ से? सिंगूर से गुजरात, because law and order was supporting in Gujarat. कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट, सब सेफ इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहते. But that is like in Seoul. Seoul is also having a department of Hindi. हमारे from our college, one teacher was deputed over there to teach Hindi to the people from Korea. So they also want to learn other languages where they are doing trade. Trade interests are more important. So these are the countries. Here one country, say Philippines, is the country where basically predominance of agriculture. and it's a volcanic region, cyclone prone region. Typhoons are regularly coming here. Summer and winter, both kind of tropical cyclones. Typhoons are pronounced over there. It is prone, but this is the country which believe in, most of the people believe in Christianity. Here, Indonesia, majority of the people believe in Islam. Say Malaysia also, Islam. Brunei, Islam. Kalimantan, they have basically naturalist, and they believe in folk religion, local religion, localized religion. So Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, they are Buddhist countries. But say Vietnam and Laos, they are again folk religious or non-religious, non-attached people. They are not attached with any of their religion. So same in Japan, they have the Shinto, S-H-I-N-T-O. Shinto is the religion of that country. So this is industrialized countries, this is agricultural. So all these countries are having agriculture. And they are also having agriculture and primitive tribal population here in Southeast Asia. Here Singapore is one of the countries. Singapore, most of the people migrated from China. 75% population of Singapore is from China. Almost 7% people migrated from India also. India, Myanmar, these and Thailand, they also migrated to Singapore. So Singapore is the country which is based on the trade activities, not the manufacturing. Singapore, they don't have industries because that is located on the Strait of Malacca. All these ships, those are passing to East Asia and Far East Asia. They are going to Japan, China, Australia, or anywhere from Asia, rest of the world. They pass through Singapore, through Malacca Strait. That provide halt, that provide harbor, that provide repairing facility, that provide oil, that provide shelter to the ship. In lieu of that, Singapore cherishes the facility of having cheaper products. They have godowns, warehouses, refrigeration houses. They purchase the cheaper items from because they are located on the trade routes. They purchase the cheaper items, wait for the market and supply their product on the higher prices. So that is the trade activities and transport activities. So this is high population density zone. Population growth rate is high, rather very high. Mortality rate is very high. Same is infant mortality rate, child mortality rate. It is comparatively high. So the death rate is also high, like in these countries. Except urban areas, like Japan is the country, there is heterogeneity. If you see the data of Japan and data of say Indonesia, you will find sea change. Average life expectancy of Japan is say more than 90 years. Females are of 93 and males are 91. That is the average life expectancy. But in Philippines, it is not like that. Philippines, they have almost 55 to 60 years is the average life expectancy. So it is varying the rural and urban dominance in the facilities, health related, hygiene related, cleanliness related, well-being related facilities, ultimately the planned settlement. Wherever the population is living in planned habitations, we have all the facilities of cleanliness, sanitary, sewerage, dumping of the waste material. सारी दुनिया में सारी problem की जड़ है. All problems lies with the unplanned settlement. All problems of health, hygiene, well-being, cleanliness, in सब की जड़ में है unplanned settlement. In India we have more than 7 lakh villages, but none of the village is a planned settlement. We don't have the drawing of the villages, maps of the villages. We don't have earmarked space for the waste disposal in any of the 7 lakh villages in the country.